In this video, I'm going to show you how to tie the Honda knot. The Honda knot's also known as the Lariat. This is super useful. If you have a proper Lariat, it already comes with an eye, so it's way easier to tie. But for the people who are out and you need something to loop or snare, this is a great way to go. Make sure that you have a relatively stiff line. The stiffer the better. See how tall this stands up and how long it is? It's a great way to go. So what you do is you're going to want to tie a very simple overhand knot to start, just like this, without too much tail on there, just maybe an inch or two, and you're going to want to snug that bad boy up pretty well. So you have a very simple overhand knot. Then farther down the line, you're going to tie another overhand knot. Now this does take some experimentation for getting the loop size right. So I'm going to make it just a little bit extra large so you can see it better. And what you do is you take the end here, just like this, and you pass it through, just like you're creating another overhand knot. I know this seems crazy, but hold on. So it's just another overhand knot. But now, the knot on this end, I'm going to shorten the tail up just a little bit. Now this, you're going to wrap the running end through the main hole here. So you're going to pass it through the main hole, just like that, or the main loop. And then you're going to begin tightening the second overhand knot so you capture the first overhand knot, just like that. So now this loop can shrink, but when you open it up, it stops and it locks it in. That's the magic of this two overhand knot system, is you get a locked loop. And now all you do is take your standing part here, create a bite just like this, pass it through this locked loop system you have, and now you're just going to want to fold the knot in over itself. Don't worry about the action. All you do is just fold this bad boy over. It'll totally work, I promise. And now you have a lariat loop where you can actually rope things just like a cowboy or cowgirl, because this loop here will get smaller, but it won't get any bigger. So when you capture something, let's say I just captured my cow, moo! It won't get any looser, but it will always tighten up. But the most important thing about this knot is what I'm going to tell you next. The Honda knot, or the knot used for lariats or roping cowboys, is featured in my book, The Most Crucial Knots to Know, and it is on page 48. Here's very clear description, easy to understand photos, and if you're a learner that likes to read instead of looking at pictures, there's a good description, and the most important part, the plus and minuses, the advantages and disadvantages of this knot, featured in my book, The Most Crucial Knots to Know, which has all of the knots alphabetical, unlike my crazy competitors who seem to like to randomly list knots in their book. I make it much easier for you to find knots in this book. And now the huge advantage and disadvantage of this lariat loop, or the Honda knot, is that it, well, falls apart. It's like, hey, just kind of completely shrinks and collapses. Like, oh, that's terrible. But if you're a cowboy or a cowgirl and you're trying to rope your horse or a cow, this sliding action is super important, because when you throw it over the cow's head and you're successful, or around the legs, and you go, you know, I'm not saying choke myself here, but when you snag it, the moment you let tension off, this knot comes completely loose. It doesn't do the noose thing where it chokes the poor animal or the thing you're trying to capture. If you are a prepper or survivalist and you're trying to snare an animal, though, once it gets the weight on, it doesn't quit. So there is some useful for that. Plus it slides super, super easy, and it doesn't bind and lock up on itself. So this is one of the most useful knots to know. Arguably, the history of this knot goes way back in history to ancient people like Stone Age, where they needed to snare and snag things. This knot is the knot they likely used. So definitely useful for roping, throwing cowboys, and oops, oh, I caught my camera, sweet! I don't want to knock my camera over. Yeah, that worked pretty well. So there you go. If you need to rope something or snare something, it is hard to go wrong with the Honda knot or the lariat, which is featured in my book, The Most Crucial Knots to Know. If you actually have a proper lariat, they have the eye already built on to the end, so all you need to do is pass the line through there. Plus, lariat rope is crazy stiff. I mean, my accessory cord's pretty stiff. I mean, this stands up nice and tall. You always want things stiff for this. But boy, lariat rope is a whole different story. My name's Aaron Linsdau. I'm a polar explorer and professional adventurer. Please check out links in the description to my books: Antarctic Tears, Lost at Windy Corner, Adventure Expedition 1, How to Keep Your Feet Warm in the Cold, The Jackson Hole Hiking Guide, 50 Jackson Hole Photography Hotspots, The Most Crucial Knots to Know, and my 2024 Total Eclipse series, as well as my show Antarctic Tears. Please like, comment, and subscribe to the channel so you can get more info like this in case you need to rope a cow.